VFW in Hawaiian Gardens to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation by Mr. Paul Hogan. You step up now.
Proper salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father, we thank you that you are here with the council tonight as they do the city's business. We thank you that you give them wisdom to work out solutions to the problems which the city faces, and that you give them understanding and direction in the path that they should go. We thank you for this in your Son Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilmember Alvarez?
Here.
Councilmember Calhoun?
Here.
Councilmember Schultz?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Cicena?
Here.
Mayor Cabrera?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Before we proceed with our presentations, I'd like to introduce a visiting councilman from the city of Bellflower, Randy Baumgart. We have, do we have somebody here from Media One?
Yes, we do, Mayor, but before I introduce you to the representatives from Media One, I'd like to give a brief overview. As you know, Media One is your sole non-exclusive cable provider for cable TV, and they are presently upgrading their cable service to a fiber optic network system, which will basically enhance and provide a better quality system, which will give you additional services. Some of them are additional capacity for more video programming, high-speed data, internet access, telephone services, and a two-way system interactive menu system. One of the requirements to complete this upgrade is that they need to install 10 pedestals throughout the city of Hawaiian Gardens on public right-of-ways, specifically on parkways. 10 sites have been identified throughout the city. 4 of them in commercial areas, 6 of them in residential areas. And while I show some slides indicating the exact locations of these pedestals, I will hand out some informational material. You see on the second page, the area that's highlighted in yellow, that is the size of the pedestal. It's 26.5 in width, 45 inches in height, 19 inches in diameter. These pedestals have to be ground mounted. They cannot be installed underground with the current technology for reasons that we got drainage problems, humidity problems, ventilation, and watertight interconnection problems. And therefore, they do require these to be mounted on a sidewalk. These are the locations. The first one is the southwest corner of Carson and Hawaiian in front of Crescent Transmission. The second one is the southeast corner of Centralia and Juan Avenue in front of the liquor store. The third one is north of Carson, midway between Pioneer Boulevard and Juan Avenue in front of a proposed card club. The fourth one is on the west side of Norwalk Boulevard, just south of Centralia, in front of the Storage USA. The pictures are a little dark. They were taken a little bit in the late afternoon. The next ones are residential locations. This is the south side of 221st Street, just east of Norwalk Boulevard. They will be placed right on the parkway adjacent to the phone pole, telephone pole.
We got two.
The sixth one is the south side of 223rd, southeast corner of 223rd in Clarkdale. The seventh one is northeast corner of 215th Street and Belshire Avenue. The eighth one is the northeast corner of 226th Street and Belshire. The ninth one is the southeast corner of 223rd Street in Devlin. And the 10th one is the southwest corner of Civic Center Drive and Horace Avenue. I do have the Polaroids of each location if the council wishes to see them in a more clear format. I will introduce two representatives from Media One who will give you a more detailed synopsis of the upgrade that the city is undergoing right now. One of them is Arnell Ganson, Regional Construction Manager, and we have Mr. Kent Leacock, Director of Public and Government Affairs.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. What I'd like to do is address what we plan to do, why we're going to be doing it, and what the benefits to the residents of Hawaiian Gardens will be, and then take any questions. I know I'll be brief. What we're going to be doing is rebuilding the cable system with a network of fiber optic cable in conjunction with coaxial cable. Currently, the cable system you have is strictly coaxial cable. It has a limited number of channels. One of the things that we hear from our customers in Hawaiian Gardens and some of the neighboring cities is that they want more channels, they want a wider variety of channels, and with this rebuild we will be able to fulfill that request and offer some additional upgraded services. I believe you have a list, you have some of the mailing materials that we would be mailing out to our customers once the rebuild is completed. The rebuild consists of taking fiber optic cable, running them to neighborhoods where we establish what's known as a fiber optic node, where at that point in time, from that node, it's branched out with coaxial cable to the homes. Prior to that, the signal travels down fiber optic cable, so it's no resistance and there's little or no degradation of the signal quality. One of the other issues with a traditional just coax plant is that for every distance you travel down the coax, you have to have an amplifier. And every time you amplify the signal, it decreases the quality of it. And in addition, you have these amplifiers that can possibly fail. When we're traveling down the fiber optic cable, we're able to eliminate all the amplifiers down the length of the system, which increases the reliability and reduces the degradation of the signal quality. Once we are able to implement this rebuilt system, as Mr. Colombo stated, we will be offering an additional somewhere in the neighborhood of over 20 channels of programming. Many of the channels will be optional. We'll be having additional pay-per-view offerings. We will have what's known as a smart guide, which is an interactive cable guide right up on your screen that will show you, it'll flash a brief synopsis of the program that you've tuned to, give a little description of it, say when it started, how much time is left, and then you'll also be able to show a big section of the time and different channels that you may or may not want to view. In addition, we will also have the ability down the road, once we roll this out throughout the other areas, of having high-speed access to the internet through cable modems right off of the same cable wire that's in your home. And next year, we will also be testing and rolling it out probably in 1999, the ability for our customers to try phone service through Media One. These are all services and additional services that they will naturally be optional, but we feel that we'll be able to offer them in a very competitive manner to the existing providers of phone service. And one of the main reasons we have to do this kind of upgrade is we have competition from Pac Bell Wireless. They're out there offering over 100 channels, as well as the digital direct TV service with the little mini dish. They're offering a wide variety of channels and more channels than we can offer right now without doing this upgrade. We have to do this upgrade because we are losing customers to them. It's a competitive issue. And in fact, the city should be aware that, as a payer of franchise fees, we have to compete against those providers that do not pay franchise fees. And if we can't if we can't offer the services to compete against them, we will lose, customers. And we feel that by having this rebuilt system, offering all these additional channels that we get requests for all the time, and you should have a channel listing in there where you'll see a lot of new channels that you currently do not get. We feel that we will be able to keep our existing subscribers, add additional subscribers, and basically improve the quality and the satisfaction with the cable service. I'd be happy to take any questions that anybody might have.
Would you, the time frame again?
The time frame is we would complete the work immediately and be offering the first offering of the upgraded channels would take place in the first quarter of 1998. So it would be very quickly, probably February or March, when we would be rolling out all these additional channels to all of our customers in Hawaiian Gardens.
By having these competitors that don't pay a franchise fee, and you say you're losing customers, does this make it more expensive to say to a customer like that I want to have a cable?
Well, actually, that's a good question, and the actual rates you pay, the franchise fee portion of it does add a little bit more on the bill that they don't have on their bill. However, we are able to still offer a very competitive service. The losing customers, we don't raise our rates because we lose customers to try to make up that revenue, because our rates are regulated by the FCC, and the regulations, the way our rates are governed, it's based on our cost of doing business, the cost of the programming, the cost of our plant, and the cost of equipment out in the field. And then we also are allowed a small inflation factor. So competition doesn't figure into the picture in terms of determining the rates, but in fact, if anything, what it does play into effect is where we go with our rates, in that we want to be able to offer a better value for the dollar against those competitors. And that's one of the reasons why, if you look at our service compared to them on a per channel basis, dollar for dollar, we come out ahead, and it's I think we offer a good value. So their competition to us doesn't cause the rates to go up, and the 5% franchise fee causes the rate to be a little bit higher than it would be, but that is a partnership that we have with the city, that we are paying so that we can use the rights of way and do this type of construction work and be in your rights of way, and we don't have a problem with that. It's just as something that I like to mention, so that there is an awareness that they aren't providing that same 5% franchise fee, but they are coming into your cities and getting customers.
Any other questions?
You did say, I guess, this is regulated by the FCC, I guess the ground-mounted enclosures that you're putting in each of the sites?
No, those aren't regulated. I was talking about the rates that we charge are regulated. The enclosures
but in compliance to them, right? This is.
Oh yes, those are in compliance with not only with the FCC, but with the electrical standards, and if you wanted a more specific I mean, who we have to be in compliance with, Arnell could probably answer that question.
For interference with cellular phones that people may have in the area wouldn't have any interference at all with them, right?
As far as the construction of these pedestals, we make sure that we are in compliance with the city code, city building codes, and the ADA Act and electrical codes.
Okay. And the maintenance of these, in case they get, they get some artwork in them? Graffiti.
We do get that concern from other cities also, and we put in a program where we routinely inspect them and repaint them.
What about the liability? Now, say that somebody walks into it and hurts themselves, it's on the city property, the sidewalk. What is the liability on that?
For those particular pedestals, et cetera, that are in the public right of way, there is no liability on the part of the city. And in fact, I guess it's pretty much the same as like a telephone pole. If somebody walking down the street, walks into a telephone pole, there's no liability on the part of the city. And from that point of view, we are considered a utility just like the phone company.
If I may, Mayor, if I can respond additionally to Kent. Per the section 5.76, 160 of the Hawaiian Gardens Municipal Code, we require through the franchise agreement indemnification clause and a $1 million insurance policy, and we will make sure that policy is on file.
We have pretty narrow sidewalks
Well, I can understand that concern. And as Joe said, even though we are considered a utility, we still do have to, per the franchise agreement, have this indemnification insurance, indemnifying the city against any actions that are caused by our actions in the city or our equipment or our employees while working in the city.
Okay, if no other questions, thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
Next on the agenda, we have a presentation of a proclamation declaring November 23rd through November 30th National Bible Week. There's nobody here to receive it, but I like to read it anyway and then give it back to the city clerk. This proclamation will be mailed to New York to be displayed at the Bible Week Interfaith inaugural luncheon that will be held at the Hilton Hotel in New York City on November 21, 1997. So, just for the record, I'll read it and present it back to the city clerk. And there's a proclamation, and it reads, whereas the City Council of the City of Hawaiian Gardens wishes to proclaim November 23rd through November 30th as a National Bible Week, and whereas the Bible is a fundamental document of Judeo-Christian principles upon which our nation was conceived, and whereas the Bible has been a constant source of moral and spiritual guidance for Americans throughout our history, and whereas the Bible has profoundly influenced our nation's art, literature, music, laws, and sense of charity, and whereas for 57 years, women and men of all faiths have banded together with the Layman's National Bible Association to sponsor National Bible Week as a time to remind their fellow Americans of the Bible's unique place in American life, and whereas this annual emphasis has helped to strengthen spiritual understanding throughout our nation by encouraging personal reading and study of the Bible, and now therefore be proclaimed that I, Mayor Lupe Cabrera, and the entire City Council of the City of Hawaiian Gardens on this 11th day of November 1997 do hereby invite and urge our community to participate in the observance of Bible Week by reading the Bible and discovering for themselves its value for personal and community life. And it's signed by the mayor and the city clerk. And Lucy, I will present it to you to get it mailed. Thank you. That concludes the presentations. Okay, at this time we'll go into oral communications. This is items on the agenda. This is the time reserved for those in the audience wishing to speak on items on the agenda. Time limit is 3 minutes per speaker. Maximum time allocated is 15 minutes. Please step up to the podium, give us your name and address for the record. Items on the agenda. Okay, being none, we'll go to items not on the agenda. The same rules apply.
I'd like to give one of each of these to the councilman, if I could.
Good.
Mike Gomez, 12429 Barlow Street. And what I handed you was just something I'm going to read real quickly here tonight. It's just something that a group of us have gotten together because we've been concerned about this proposed Lakewood School District. And some of us have attended some of those town meetings they've had, and we're very disturbed about, what it could do to the children in our city if that proposal goes through. So, I'll just read it real quickly. And there has been a proposal by a group in the city of Lakewood to form their own school district. While the proposal certainly sounds like a noble idea, and since our children are taught in the ABC school district, one wouldn't think it would be much of a concern to us here in Hawaiian Gardens. But the effect of the proposal could be very detrimental to the education of our children. For the following reasons, we ask that the Hawaiian Gardens City Council adopt a resolution to recommend that the Los Angeles County Committee on School District Organization disapproves a petition for the formation of the Lakewood Unified School District. Reason number A, the Lakewood proposal would take away 5 schools from the ABC School District, in which 1,358 Hawaiian Gardens students currently attend. B, the loss of these schools would mean that over 600 elementary students and all of our high school students would have to be bused through Lakewood and into schools in the city of Cerritos. C, Hawaiian Gardens students, would lose the opportunity to participate in after-school activities because of the increased distance and travel time to and from school. D, the result of the loss of 5 schools by the ABC School District would make it impossible for the remaining schools to maintain the 20-to-1 student-to-teacher ratio in the elementary level, thus causing a loss to the district in funds and a loss to the students in the quality of education. In conclusion, the ABC district is rated among the top 10 districts in the state in academic performance. While the Lakewood School District proposal does not offer any guarantees it can provide a better education to its constituents, it certainly guarantees a reduction of the quality of education for the children of Hawaiian Gardens and for all the children of the ABC School District as well. At these meetings that I attended, the mayor of the city of Lakewood has been an active advocate for the Lakewood proposal, proclaiming that the children of Lakewood deserve the best education possible. If we want our children to continue to be educated by one of the best school districts, it's imperative that the Hawaiian Gardens City Council stand up for our children, let the LA County School District Organization Committee know that you oppose the Lakewood proposal. On the second page, I've put the address of the organizing committee. What they're doing right now is they've had 4 meetings in each of the affected school districts, and they're basically at the point now they're deciding whether this is a valid proposal. They have 9 state criteria that they need to follow, and one of them is fairness to the other school districts and communities involved, and it definitely is not fair to our kids. So I'm asking that a group of people here with me are asking that our council take a stand for our children and notify this committee that we oppose this proposal, that it's not fair to our kids. I only listed 4 things here, because of the time constraints. I could have used up our whole alphabet if I had the time, but I think this is enough to show how important it is for our kids that we take some action. I mean, if we don't take any action, we're not serving our community. So I ask if you would please, take this, and make a resolution, put it on the agenda, and, notify that committee that we do want our kids to be served well.
Dominic, can we make that an item on the next agenda to have a resolution not supporting Lakewood in their school district?
Well, we can put it on the agenda, and at that time,
And then have a vote on it, right?
give the city clerk a chance to put a resolution together, and then we can either approve it or disapprove it.
Right.
But is there a schedule, a time frame that there's going to be an election, I understand?
They're going to make, where it is right now, that this committee will be making a decision on February 4th whether they approve or disapprove. And at that time, it goes up to the state, and then the state committee approves or disapproves. If they approve, then it comes down to election and of the people in Lakewood. And the biggest problem is that because that district goes right through the ABC school district, which we're part of, it cuts our city off from the rest of the district. And that's where our biggest problem is, besides the fact that we lose Melbourne Elementary School, where over 500 kids are attending right now. And we can't put them in Ferguson and Hawaiian, there's just no room. So the only other thing is for them to do is send them north, And I would hate to see a second grader being bused somewhere in Cerritos and then getting on the wrong bus in the afternoon and not getting home. I mean, it's just really a scary thought. I think right now we have our neighborhood schools. The kids walk to school. The parents can walk and pick them up. I mean, when we talk about our youth, our future, from our city motto, I mean, there is no more pertinent thing than our education.
Okay, we have been contacted by the group from Lakewood that wanted to do this, but we haven't been contacted by anybody else. You'll be the first one, so I'm glad that you're here and giving us this information, but it will be on the next agenda.
Yeah, I want to commend you for your effort. I think this is a very important issue that faces the city, and it's something that we as a city can't be neutral. Either you're for it or you're against it. And it's the future of our kids. So I have a very strong opinion. I think it's detrimental to the community, and I will be voting to disapprove Lakewood's school district. I don't think it helps our kids at all. So I'm hoping we'll get that on the resolution.
We will.
I don't know how the vote will go, but we do need to take a stand, one way or the other.
Are we having a town hall meeting? I thought that was going to be to meet to question here from both sides.
Well, we could probably invite somebody from the ABC school district or somebody that you might want to
Because I think it's great, Mike, what you're doing, because that's what we need. The more information people have, the more of a clear is that and the decision making.
Melbourne has already had a meeting.
Okay.
Willow has already had a meeting already. So there've been like 4 different meetings.
You're gonna need to speak up at the podium to make sure.
I'm going up there.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
My name is Isabel Delgadillo. I live at 22201 Clarkdale. Okay, well, it was brought to my attention that Hawaiian Gardens was supporting the forming of Lakewood Unified School District, and that's why we're here, because we want to make it clear that a lot of us are not supporting that, and we've gone to some of those meetings, and we have spoken there too. The reasons why I am against it is because, like Melbourne is a neighborhood school, and Artesia is our high school. That's all we have, and some of our kids walk to high school, and they walk to Melbourne, and they walk to Ferguson. So a lot of our kids are walking right now. What should happen if they get sick and they have to come home, or if the parent has to go pick them up? A lot of our parents do not drive, so they have to walk and pick them up themselves. A lot of our parents walk their children to school. They walk their children to school to make sure that they're there on time and that they do go to school. If they're being bused, how do you know if they're going to get on the bus? And then if they have to go all the way to Lakewood, what are they going to do then? If they have to go to conferences, how are they going to get to those schools? Well, like I said, a lot of our parents are walking over there. You see the back to school night, a lot of our parents go walking. So we need to keep our schools. We need to stay here where we're at. I don't want to send my child on a bus, or if they have to take a bike to school, I don't want to send my child on a bike or a bus. I'd rather have them walk to Artesia High School if I can, or if I can take them, okay, I'll take them. But if he has to come home walking, then he can come home walking. A lot of our kids are bilingual children. They're monolingual Spanish. Tell me who's going to provide the quality education for our bilingual kids then? Is Lakewood going to provide us? Are they going to have bilingual teachers over there? Are they going to have the best bilingual program? ABC has a very good bilingual program. And if they go to Lakewood, who's going to provide us with the best bilingual program? Well, that's all I have to say.
Thank you very much.
Isabel, I'm sorry, because I think you mentioned that Hawaiian Gardens was supporting that. I don't think so, because I had heard the same thing you had just stated right now. There was someone that went kind of as a representative of the city stating that we are supporting Lakewood, former council person. That's incorrect.
Well, then I think the letter should be written down as soon as
Yeah.
possible and sent over
Yeah,
there
no,
saying
no,
that
that-
not all of us are supporting it.
We've had a conversation with Mr. Riley. He called the city administrator, and we had a conversation, and we assured him that the council has not taken any action. We have not appointed anybody. You are the first ones here to officially ask us this. So.
And I wish we could have had you go down there and say something at Artesia High School when they did have a meeting. They've had several meetings, one at Willow and one at Artesia High School, and there was a lot of people there. And there was a lot of people who were Spanish speaking that didn't speak, because of the time limit and because they had other representatives from neighborhood cities that were going down and talking about their situation and how they were against it too.
Yeah, but no, we're not endorsing. I mean, I can speak for myself. No, Ellen, I don't think the rest has.
And again, we did not appoint anybody.
No. So that's.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
We'll have some kind of resolution.
Right. The city clerk will prepare a resolution and we'll vote on it. Okay. Anybody else?
Roselia Gomez, 12429 Farlow Street. And I have an article here from the Press Telegram that states that Todd Rogers, who's the one that started all this business about the Lakewood, he states in here that parents in Hawaiian Gardens share our sense of frustration, and they have begun a petition drive to incorporate Hawaiian Gardens in the Lakewood Unified School District when it's formed. When it is, we will welcome them into the new Lakewood Unified School District. So there is a petition going around somewhere. I've never seen it. So that's why we would like things clarified. We would like you to be sure to state that you as city council members who represent us, we didn't sign petitions like this. I'd like to know where the petitions are.
No.
Well, I think we like to know ourselves.
Yeah.
Also, I would like to also say that I was at the town hall meeting at Artesia High, and we were told when we first went in to kind of keep an open mind, which we were keeping an open mind. But where we sat with a group of Lakewood people, and we heard very, very bad insinuations about our area. We heard that Lakewood, which I always figured was in a nice neighborhood, was in a very dangerous neighborhood. So I'm just asking if they think Artesia High is in such an unsafe neighborhood, I don't think they've ever been to Hawaiian Gardens. I don't know. I don't think they understand our area here. So I just wanted to make that point.
Thank you. Okay, being nobody else, we'll go to item B, there's no public hearings. Item C, there's no ordinances. Item D1.
Mayor and Council, item D1 is consideration of resolution number 11997, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Hawaiian Gardens approving that certain agreement entitled Joint Powers Agreement of the Self-Insurance Authority for Effective Risk Management. This evening we have with us Randy Baumgars, who is the president of the California Contract Cities Association, and he's also a councilman, of course, with the city of Bellflower. And we have Mr. Bill Holt, the executive director of the SCJPIA here. And perhaps, Bill, you could give us a little overview of the program. It's called drafting. He'll get even.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, my name is Bill Holt, and as Mr. Simpson said, I'm the Executive Director of the California Joint Powers Insurance Authority. Our role in what is before you this evening is somewhat different from Mr. Baumgar's. The cities that contract with the County of Los Angeles for sheriff service and other services pay for sheriff services 6% on top of their contract amount into something called the Los Angeles County Liability Trust Fund. That fund was established back in the 70s to pay for liability claims against the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department for work that they are doing within a contract city. So the cities pay the contract amount, and then they pay a surcharge of currently 6% to cover liability claims. The Contract Cities Association has, over the years, had some concern about the way that the county was handling that fund. They have had concerns that the county could not properly account for the fund since its inception. And they have had concerns that claims were not always properly handled. I think the Contract Cities Association's work over the past few years has resulted in improvements, but nevertheless, things are not as satisfactory as they would like. The Contract Cities Association has drafted a joint powers agreement, which is the subject of your resolution this evening, that would create an entity known as the Self-Insurance Authority for Effective Risk Management. The purpose of that joint powers authority would be to handle a self-insurance pool to handle those claims against the Sheriff's Department for work done in contract cities. The California JPIA's role in that would be to manage the pool. We currently are the largest municipal self-insurance pool and best funded in the state of California. Hawaiian Gardens, I'm pleased to say, is a founding member of the California JPIA. But the California JPIA's pool would be separate from the SAFER pool. The management of the California JPIA would be hired by the SAFER pool to manage and administer the claims against the sheriff. The Self-Insurance Authority for Effective Risk Management's board would be sort of a two-level board. It would consist of one representative from each contracting city, and that group would appoint an administrative and claims committee, some of the members of which are fixed. The president, vice president, and secretary of the administrative and claims committee would be the president, vice president, and secretary of the board of SAFER. The board would meet once a year. Essentially, the administrative and claims committee would meet monthly to deal with claims and ensure the effective administration of the program. Mr. Baumgars, I'm sure, could add details, and I would be glad to respond to any questions you might have.
Just an understanding it, the risk management, that's just the policy that is existing already with the sheriffs or whoever we contract with, or how does it work?
I'm sorry, I did not understand the question.
Risk management, I guess the insurance that covers for our police department, for the city, or what? I'm a bit ignorant to this, so I was just asking what it covers. I mean, is it an increase, or there's joining, merging, or what is?
The name might be a little misleading because it says effective risk management.
Right.
And essentially, it is more than risk management. It is risk management and managing the claims that come in against the Sheriff's Department. As it is now, there is very little ability for the cities to analyze data and report that to the Sheriff's Department and say, this appears to be an area where different procedures could be followed that might reduce the cost to the cities. Over time, through SAFER, there would be data developed that would enable the cities to make that kind of input to the Sheriff's Department. Separate from that, there would be handling the claims. That is, adjusting the claims, which means dealing with the people who file the claims, trying to settle the claims where appropriate, hiring attorneys where necessary, and seeing the claim through to completion.
So like an additional, someone that would go in mediation. I understand a little bit of it, and we have something that we just put in where I work at, a risk management, aside from the errors and omissions, we've added to it. So
Yes.
this is something that's being added to it as well, or?
We think there's something being added. In theory, this should be currently provided by the Sheriff's Department and the county. We're not sure that in every instance it is.
Bill?
Yes, sir.
With the creation of SAFER, the existing funds that now exist, how would they be handled?
Very good question. The County of Los Angeles and the California Contract Cities Association are now jointly conducting an actuarial evaluation of the liability trust fund in order to determine what the existing obligation is and what the appropriate amount for the cost of claims in the future should be. The liability trust fund, we all believe, is quite underfunded. We just don't know the extent of its underfunding. That is an obligation that the cities have, whether SAFER goes forward or whether it does not.
Somebody has to pay it.
It has to be paid, yes. Yeah.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and members of the council. As President of California Contract Cities, over the last number of 3-4 years, we have been working with the county to try and receive the information on the liability trust fund, the money that the county has been handling, the 6% surcharge that you've been paying, and that the 40 cities that are served by the sheriff, that money has gone into a county pool. Our concern is that there have been no actuarial studies, there have been no studies indicating how that money has been spent, and there have been no audits on that fund. And so the last few years, California Contract Cities indicated that we needed to take hold of that money ourselves. It belongs to the cities, and we should start our own liability trust fund, which we are calling SAFER. At present, of the 40 cities that contract with the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department and that are paying into the county pool, I believe 37 cities have already come on board with a resolution indicating they're willing to join the SAFER group. We're looking at your city this evening and 2 or 3 others before the end of the month to adopt similar resolutions. And then we're looking to go to the County Board of Supervisors. We've met with them individually at this point, have shared and explained to them what we're looking to do. We feel we have the support of at least 3, if not all 5 supervisors. And so we're looking to bring this information to them the first part of December so that this new arrangement can be made.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, at this time it would be in order to make a motion to waive further reading and adopt resolution number 119-97.
I'll make a motion.
Second the motion.
There's a motion and a second. Can we have a roll call vote?
Councilmember Alvarez?
Yes.
Councilmember Pelto?
Yes.
Councilmember Schultz?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Santana?
Yes.
Mayor Cabrera?
Yes. Motion carries. Okay, we'll go to item 2, item B2.
Yes, Mayor and Council, item D2 on your agenda is resolution number 120-97, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Hawaiian Gardens, County of Los Angeles, approving that certain agreement between the City of Hawaiian Gardens and the Los Angeles County Department of Health Services for the lease of a portion of the Leeware Community Center, 22310 Wardham Avenue, Hawaiian Gardens. We recommend approval.
Okay, is there a motion?
Make a motion to waive further reading and adopt resolution number 120-97.
Is there a second? A second, there's a motion and a second. Can we have a roll call vote?
Councilmember Alvarez?
Yes.
Councilmember Papera?
Yes.
Councilmember Schultz?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cesar?
Yes.
Mayor Cabrera?
Yes. Motion carries. The resolution item D3.
Item D3 on your agenda, Honorable Mayor and Council, is resolution number 121-97. It's a resolution of the City Council of the City of Hawaiian Gardens approving the pre-issued warrants and regular warrants for a total of $209,641.32.
I'll make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second the motion.
Can we have a roll call vote?
Councilmember Alvarez?
Yes.
Councilmember Papera?
Yes.
Councilmember Schultz?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cesar?
Yes.
Mayor Cabrera?
Yes. Motion carries. Consent calendar, we have approval of the minutes of October 28th, and do you want to continue those? Okay, we're going to continue those until the next meeting. So we'll go to our discussion items. Item F1.
So item F1 is the appointment of board members and one alternate to the California Cities Home Ownership Authority.
Okay. The city clerk, was there going to be some corrections and, or, this is the one we talked about, the appointment of a board member and alternative, no?
No, I don't think so.
No, that was the previous item.
That was the previous item.
Okay.
We're okay.
This item here is, on July 17, 1997, you approved the resolution 89-97 to authorize a joint powers agreement between the city and the California Home Ownership Authority. One of the requirements is that you appoint a board member and an alternate, and that's all we'd be doing today. This is the item that was presented by Mr. Jim Tilton.
That's for the rent to
That
buy.
was a rent-to-own program where you rent for 3 years and then
3 years.
purchase the.
Yeah, a percentage of that would go, part of your rent will go into the purchase of the home within the 3 years, and if you choose not to, then it would go back to,
This just gives the council some representation on the governing
right, to get the two members there to some say-so.
Okay, what action do you want us to take on this?
To appoint a board member and one alternate.
Okay, I don't have the backup on my agenda. Item F1.
There was no backup.
There is no backup, oh, okay.
It was, it's a minute item.
Okay. So, who should be appointed, the mayor and a councilman, or?
It's at the council's pleasure.
Okay,
Mr. Mayor, I would recommend Mr. Alvarez for one of those positions, being his.
okay. I was gonna appoint Mr. Schultz.
I'll go with.
How about,
alternate, because I think.
Okay,
You know,
all right.
I'll.
Can I appoint you, Mr. Schultz, because you were involved in housing, and I thought you have the experience, so.
Qualifies for that.
Okay. So I'll appoint Mr. Alvarez and Mr. Schultz. Mr. Schultz as the alternate?
Sure, and I'll go and ask him, pick his brain whenever, I mean.
Okay,
I think I understand this is, it's pretty much an option to buy home, so.
Right.
We've done this before, so yeah, not a problem with it.
It'd be in order by motion to
Okay.
confirm, to approve those appointments.
okay, I'll make the motion to appoint Mr. Alvarez and Mr. Schultz as the alternate.
Second.
As a motion and a second, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Item F2.
Item F2 is a request for approval by the council to allow us to solicit bids for the refurbishing of the gym floor in the C. Robert Lee Recreation Center. It's programmed for CDBG money and budgeted, and we're ready to proceed.
Make a motion to advertise for bids.
Right, to solicit for bids.
Second.
It's okay. The motion was made by Mr. Schultz
Yeah.
and seconded by Mr. Alvarez. Can we have a roll call vote?
Councilmember Alvarez?
Yes.
Councilmember Papera?
Yes.
Councilmember Schultz?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cesar?
Yes.
Mayor Cabrera?
Yes. Motion carries. Item F3.
Yes, Honorable Mayor and Council, item F3 is a similar request to allow us to solicit bids for the installation of automatic doors at City Hall in compliance with ADA requirements.
Make a motion to approve. Second the motion.
Okay, the motion is to advertise, solicit for bids. The motion and a second. We need a roll call vote on this.
Councilmember Alvarez?
Yes.
Councilmember Soto?
Yes.
Councilmember Holt?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cesena?
Yes.
Mayor Cabrera?
Yes, and again, these are funds,
Yes, sir, CDBG.
CDBG fund
Yes.
on both of these items.
That's right.
Okay. Item F4. Do we need just to receive and file this item, or?
I don't know whether Mr. Weiner wants to address the council or not, but he's here this evening.
Good evening. Sorry, I was in the back and I didn't hear this item called. Honorable Mayor, Vice Mayor, and members of the council, I'm Burl Weiner. I represent the Hawaiian Gardens Cart Club. And Mr. Simpson had called me to advise me that we were on the agenda and we were asked to make a very brief presentation about the status of the Cart Club. And I simply want to report that as we have previously informed the city, we have to, under the provisions of Senate Bill 8, have a card club open before the end of the year. A card club will be open before the end of the year. We are starting on the development of a 120-table club, which will probably take about 5 or 6 months to open, and hopefully that'll be open by the middle of the year. And that's a short, brief, concise status report. If anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
No, we look forward to that casino being there.
We've been waiting a long time, as
Right,
you
we
know,
have.
Everybody in the city has, and we're working hard to get it done.
Yeah, long road.
As
Yes.
fast as we can.
Okay, Ray.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we will receive and file that report. Before we go into the closed session items, we have a couple of our deputies back there. Could I ask you, I impose on you to step forward and identify yourselves and
Lieutenant
to the,
Smith is there, maybe he can introduce him.
okay, Mr.
Lieutenant.
Lieutenant?
See you show up, you got a favor you.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Vice Mayor, and distinguished council, on behalf of the Sheriff's Department, we're very happy to be here. We look forward to the challenge of...
Give us your name.
Mike Smith.
Smith.
Lieutenant Mike Smith, Lakewood Sheriff Station. I'm the service area lieutenant for the city of Hawaiian Gardens. And tonight we have with us Deputy Jerry Patterson and his partner, Deputy Myers, who's on training right now. And then two of our special assignment officers, Frank Leal and Dave O'Sullivan, who asked for the assignment. So they're very excited to be here also.
Thank you. We're very happy to have you here. Welcome aboard. And if there's anything we can assist you on to make your job better, please call on us.
Well, just let us know if you need anything. We're here
Thank
to
you very
serve.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you. About the meeting you had November 19th, so people might hear it.
Oh, yes, on November 19th, the Sheriff's Department, in conjunction with the City of Hawaiian Gardens, I'm sure you know, is having a open house, town hall type meeting in this room at 6:30 p.m. And we are advertising on the local cable station, and we've flyered the city, and we will also be sending that information home with the children at the local schools and churches. And we would extend the invitation for all of you to attend.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Okay, we'll proceed to item G1. This Ms. Silva.
Yes, Honorable Mayor and members of the council, we will meet in closed session to discuss existing litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.98, to discuss Moreno versus City of Hawaiian Gardens and Yates versus City of Hawaiian Gardens. Also to meet in closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6, to meet with our labor negotiator, and to discuss items pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9B, discuss anticipated litigation, 3 or more potential cases.
Okay, with that, we'll go into closed session. Meeting is back in session. Ms. Silva will give you the report.
Yes, Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council, we have met in closed session to discuss the items on the agenda, and no action was taken.
Okay. Thank you very much. With that, we'll go into staff reports. We have none.
And except that we would like to again remind you of the town hall meeting that the Sheriff's Department and the city are co-sponsoring on the 19th right here in this room, and we would like everybody to come.
Okay. Thank you. Council reports?
Just, I guess, on today's event, veterans, thanking the veterans that were here today for that event that took place this morning. And there was a few people that we didn't thank that actually were a big part of this to put it together. To the ladies that helped with the veterans program, Licha Barrios, Vero Lua, Vilma Uribe, and Gabi Serrano, thanking them on behalf of the council for all their efforts and assisting Mr. Irvin Montenegro was also a help as well, and the rest of the staff that was there. So thanking them.
Okay, I'd like to also add to that, Mr. Montenegro. Saturday we had a function that I think you had about 3 days to put together, and we had approximately 100 people from a sister city from Mexico, and I don't know how Mr. Montenegro got all this together, but he was very successful. Everybody seemed to enjoy it. I know the council that were there were very impressed, and but I'd like to give a special thanks, Mr. Montenegro, with the limited staff that you have, and I still don't know who else you.
Volunteers or whatever.
I'd like to thank you and your volunteers for helping out in this rough times.
I think the staff was composed of Irvin Montenegro, Assistant Irvin Montenegro, Irvin Montenegro.
Well, he has some elves out there that, the Munchkins or somebody that's helping him, but we wish to thank you very much and thank your volunteers, all the volunteers on behalf of the council. Like Placido said, we appreciate it very much. We're in rough straits right now, and hopefully he won't last too long so that we can all get back to normal again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Hogan also was another one that thank you, because I know he's always, they're hustling and running around, so thank you, Paul.
Yeah, just to follow up on that, I was speaking to somebody today, and I guess there was rumors that people were upset that we had this function in the city, and at the same time, we didn't have things for Halloween or for Thanksgiving. And was there a big expenditure on this by the city?
Not at all.
Okay, so because there's rumors out there that,
No.
Just the light goes on.
We just facilitated the facility, and also were there, not in support, but just to welcome the people that were coming there. That was their event. They put in the money. They brought all the food. Nothing was paid by the city.
I think it was a very nice event, and it kind of really honored a lot of the families that are immigrants from Michoacan or
Michoacan.
And I guess there's quite a few people in the community that are from that area. And
This was
and I think it was very nice.
Guanajuato, Guaramaro, Guanajuato.
Guanajuato,
Yeah.
sorry, not Michoacan.
So not Michoacan, but we have a lot of differences.
It was nice.
Yeah, but no, not a cost to the city.
No, I think that, I really don't know who paid for the food. Mr. Montenegro would, or if it, does it matter who paid for the food other than the city did?
It was the group that they have organized in San Fernando Valley already.
Okay.
Some of the members that already organized,
Right.
they're the ones that.
But I know a local family prepared the food.
Right, and the cost that were, that was incurred by them.
Yeah, okay, but there was no cost to the city.
Not to the city.
Okay. Again, thank you very much. If there's nothing else, we'll adjourn the city council meeting. All in favor of adjourning the council meeting indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned, and we'll go into redevelopment. Can we have a roll call?
Director Alvarez?
Here.
Director Capel?
Here.
Director Schultz?
Here.
Vice Chairperson Cesar?
Here.
Chairperson Cabrera?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. At this time, we'll have oral communications. This is item on the agenda. You have 3 minutes to speaker. Please step forward and give us your name and address for the record. Items on the agenda. If not, we'll do items not on the agenda. The same rules apply. There being none, we'll go to item A1. Again, these are the minutes. Okay? Continue the minutes? Okay, this time we'll continue the minutes of October 28th. And we'll go to item B1, resolutions.
Yes, Mr. Chairman and members. Resolution number 97-32 is a resolution of the Hawaiian Gardens Community Redevelopment Agency to terminate disposition and development agreement number 94-001, allowing a full-service buyback recycling facility on property located at 22206 through 22212 Norwalk Boulevard. This comes to you as a request of the developer on this, or the proposed developer on this site. Mr. Telesio is here this evening in the audience. I don't know if he wants to make any statement, but he has requested that this action be taken, and we recommend that you adopt the resolution.
Okay.
Can you maybe just give us a little update as to why?
Actually, we'd rather hear from Sandra.
I would rather hear from someone else. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. Let me step back and tell you that, we earnestly wanted to make this project happen. I think you've heard from me so many times from this along the way. But, geez, I'll tell you what, it just wasn't, as much as we tried and we had hoped that it would be a feasible undertaking, it just in the end wasn't within our breadth of abilities to make it happen. And all I can tell you though along the way is that I always realized that I had a lot of support from this City Council. And overall, I mean, it would have been a very fruitful project, I think, in a number of ways, environmentally, if nothing else. But regretfully, in the end, we resigned to the fact that we couldn't make it happen. It wound up just not even a feasible undertaking, and even as an alternative development, we just couldn't take on the site and do a whole lot with it. That's not to say that no one else can, but it's not within our abilities to do that. So, by all means, I want you to recognize that I know that there has been a lot of goodwill and a lot of willing support for ourselves as developers, the wife and myself, and I want that to not go unnoticed. I appreciate all the support along the way. I do, once again, apologize that I just couldn't pull it off, and if any help you can give me at this last hour now to terminate the DDA would really be in the best interest of all parties.
You did forfeit some money on this, didn't you?
Yes, we did. Initially, there was a deposit of, I don't know if it was $5,000 or $10,000. And along the way, we've consistently been servicing the debt. So at this point, to be real honest with you, the way I view it, it's just better off if we cut our losses. I don't expect to try to recoup the investment I've already made. I just prefer to cut the losses and go on with things.
Okay, Mr. Lester, we're sorry too that the project didn't fly, and maybe some other time.
Yeah.
Thank
you for everything.
Thank you, John.
Okay, and this time it would be in order to waive further reading and adopt resolution number 97-33.
So moved.
It's a motion. Second. Can we have a roll call vote?
Director Alvarez?
Yes.
Director Capel?
Yes.
Director Schultz?
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Cesar?
Yes.
Chairperson Cabrera?
Yes, motion carries. Thank you.
I just have a question. Are you going to process the quitclaim deed and get it recorded? All that stuff, are you asking us to do that?
I will, sure. I can coordinate that with staff possibly, and just in terms of the timing and so forth.
Okay, great.
It'll be great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, John.
So want to hear from Sandra?
Yeah, come on. I don't know, she had a different quitclaim.
Okay, item B2.
Yes, Mr. Chairman and members, B2 is resolution number 97-33, It's a resolution of the Hawaiian Gardens Community Redevelopment Agency approving the pre-issued warrants and regular warrants for a total of $36,967.44.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second motion.
So motion and a second. Can we have a roll call? Vote.
Director Alvarez?
Yes.
Director Pepper?
Yes.
Director Schultz?
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Cesar?
Yes.
Chairperson Rivera?
Yes. Motion carries. Discussion items, item C1.
It's, Mr. Chairman and members, we can actually, basically, both of these items are kind of the same thing. We're prepared this evening to give you a quick overview. It's nothing more than a brief report, as Mr. Weiner did with the City Council. And Mr. Colombo is prepared to do that for the agency this evening.
Okay.
Honorable Chairperson and members of the agency board, the Community Development Department has received plans from the Hawaiian Gardens Car Club architect to construct a temporary facility which would hold approximately 5 card tables. The facility would be located right behind Bartha's Donuts on the existing Car Club overlay district. The site does meet all of the parking requirements and landscape requirements. No discretionary approvals are required from the Community Development Department. However, this project will be constructed on property where a disposition and development agreement was approved in 1993, and one of the requirements is that it go through a discretionary or actually an architectural review. Staff finds that the project is acceptable, and if the agency board members have no objection to the proposed plans, staff will continue with the review process and issue all necessary permits. They're presently under plan check, and the modules have been ordered. I believe there's 4 of them. These are samples of what the modules look like. There's some brochures on them. Pass it along. The bigger plan is basically for illustrative purposes only, and will kind of give you a bigger picture of what the site will entail. As Mr. Burl Weiner indicated earlier this evening, they have plans for a 120 tent cart table, which is this area right here. And later on, they will be expanding and building the permanent facility. Again, this is only for illustrative purposes only. It's preliminary. The plans that are for consideration only tonight, or for discussion purposes only, is the one attached to the staff report. No agency action is required. This is just for informational purpose only.
Make a motion to receive and file.
Second motion.
The motion is to receive and file. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion is, the action is received and filed.
Mr. Mayor, it looks like there's a cloud over that project.
Yeah, it's gonna, that's El Nino.
That's the mama.
Was that taken today or what?
It's taken in the late evening.
Oh, really?
Is that rainbow? That beautiful rainbow there?
Joe, did you say there was 4 of those modules, 4 of those buildings going there?
Yes. It'll have approximately 2,000 square feet of floor area.
What about the Plowboys building? Is that coming down?
Yes, they've got permits have been pulled to demo that building.
Okay. The complete building?
Yes. It's right now fenced off.
No more Georgia Gobble.
Okay.
Okay, do item D, D1?
D1.
Closed session.
Closed session.
Okay. Honorable Mayor, members of the council, we will meet in closed session to discuss the existing litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9A, by right 1, by right 2, Lakewood Suzuki, Plowboys Market, Miramontes, Club Cheers, and to meet with a real property negotiator pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.8 to discuss the Norwalk property, terms of payment, and to meet in closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9B to discuss anticipated litigation.
Okay, at this time we'll go into closed session.
Okay?
Council report?
Yes, Honorable Chairman and members of the Board of Directors, we met in closed session to discuss the items listed in the agenda, and no action was taken.
Thank you. At this time, we have oral staff reports.
Yes, Honorable Chairperson and members of the agency, if you notice, there was a phone board outside advertising a seminar that we'll be giving on November 15th. It's being given by SunWest Mortgage Company, and it's a seminar on how to purchase a house. And,
what's the date? November?
November 15th, Saturday, 9 o'clock a.m. to 12
And, okay, and then do we have any oral agency reports? If not, we will adjourn to November 25. Thank you very much.
Attaboy, Hippie.
Hey.
49.
Got out before 9.